Batman, 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 Batman.
As luck would have it, one of America's two most powerful villains of the next decade
is turned loose to strike terror into the hearts of men. To shock women into uncontrolled hysteria.
Don't touch that!
The villains themselves were ultimately responsible for much of the popularity. Audiences love to hate.
What's up, Gothamites? I'm Eli Wilbur. Welcome back to the Villains of YouTube. I just got done watching what I thought was a really excellent episode of Gotham. This is episode 5. I can't believe that we're already on episode 5, but it's here. It was called Viper, and we're starting to dive more into the comic world in this one. The show so far has been very grounded in reality. It's been focused on the corruptness of Gotham, the crime bosses, kind of the character dynamics, and now we're starting to see more comic book elements thrown into the show. The first of which, the Wall of Crime. We see Batman's Wall of Crime in its infant stages in this episode. Right away, Bruce Wayne, he's in the main house of Wayne Manor. He's in the main living room, and he's putting together the pieces. We're starting to see him want to figure out how Gotham works, and that's what he tells Alfred. He doesn't want revenge so far. So far he doesn't want revenge, but that can always change. He wants to see what makes Gotham tick. How does it work? More importantly, he wants to understand his family's involvement in Gotham and its corruptibility. And that's really important to see, because up until now, the way that the Waynes were portrayed in movies and comic books, they were the golden angels of Gotham. They could do no wrong. But now we're starting to see that maybe there's something we don't know, that maybe they weren't such good people. Even Falcone in early episodes said that the Waynes and the Falcones were an integral part of Gotham. They were the pillars of Gotham. So I'm more interested in what he meant by that. Were the Waynes bad? We're starting to see that. But first, let's just dive into a little bit more about Viper. The episode's title was Viper. That's because in I think the third scene, we cut to this guy. He's playing guitar on the street, and he gets tossed a drug, because that's what he's asking for, pretty much. He's just asking for drug money. So he gets tossed a drug in a little green vial with snakes on it. And as my friend Justin mentioned in his tweet, why would you huff something with snakes on it? You're asking for bad news there. But regardless, that seems to be the first thing this guy does. He breaks it open, takes a huff, and he goes crazy. And the first thing I thought of, Venom. For those who didn't catch it, there was a quick little nod when the guitar player who's the first victim of Viper, when he goes to rob the ATM, he gets accused of of acting like Zeus, because he mentioned something about petty mortals, and so the convenience store clerk calls him Zeus. Well, this may have been a quick little nod to Maxie Zeus, a character in the comic books, one of Batman's opponents at some point. I'm not too familiar with the character, but I was able to catch it real quick. I thought that was great. I love that they're just throwing in these quick little nods and bits just to please the fans and make us go, oh, I see what you did there. Just like what they did in the first episode when they mentioned Solomon Grundy by referring to his name when they were talking about cross streets. Great little nods. I think the writers are just doing a stand-up job. They're picking and choosing very carefully what elements of the Batman universe they really want to point out and which ones they're just going to throw nods at. And I think that's great. Before I dive any further into this episode, I just want to talk about some of the comments that I got from the last video when I reviewed Arkham, episode 4 of Gotham. Got a few comments, not a lot, but we're just starting out, so that's okay. But please, guys, keep commenting, get your friends in on it, share these videos. Let's start talking about Gotham. If there's anything that I can do better to help make the conversation better, let me know in the comments below. But here's some of the comments we got. One from our very own Justin Daly. Hunch, I think Fish Mooney is looking for someone to replace her as Fish Mooney, so when it all goes down and her knockoff dies, she will still be out there, maybe planning her own fake death. Interesting theory, Justin, but we got another comment from Vanessa Hernandez. I think Fish Mooney was hiring that skanky-looking singer to seduce Falcone. That's why seducing was part of the interview, and kill him because Fish thinks she can take over the city. Hi, Eli. Hi, Vanessa. For those who didn't catch the last episode, and if you didn't catch the last episode, don't watch this. There's a lot of spoilers. Don't spoil yourself. Pause this. Go to Fox. Go to the Fox website and watch the episodes. They're on for free. There's no reason not to. In the last episode, Fish Mooney was recruiting a singer to work for her, and what she ends up revealing to one of her goons is that she's not looking for just some random girl. She's looking for a weapon, and there was some speculation as to what this weapon was, how she was going to use this weapon, and Vanessa, I think you're the winner here. Sorry, Justin. We love you, man, but looks like Vanessa nailed it on the head, because at the end of this episode of Viper, we see that Fish Mooney's weapon comes into play. She ends up meeting up with Falcone by chance. We all know it was planned, but she ends up meeting up with Falcone, and he overhears her singing a tune that Fish and the singer were rehearsing earlier in the episode, and it reminds him of his mother, which Fish is coaching this girl on how to act more matronly and motherly. Does Falcone like having a mommy girlfriend type of thing? That seems to be the situation, and it seems that this girl is gonna be Fish's way into taking down Falcone. Speaking of Fish, how weird is it that she's sleeping with that Russian dude? I don't know who this Russian guy is. The only thing that I think of is the Russian gangster from The Dark Knight, the one with the dogs. I don't know if he's supposed to be that guy or what, but weird stuff. Another very long comment from our friend Jason Rico. I didn't get any sense of reference to the Joker with either one of the singers. I brought up that maybe the writers were trying to write in some kind of quick reference to the Joker and Harley Quinn with the two singers, with the difference between them. But Jason was very quick to call me out on my bullshit and pointed out that the only real direct Joker reference was when Harvey Bullock referred to one of the criminals in the interrogation room as the Clown Prince of Crime. But that's not all that Jason had to provide. I also asked at the end of my review last time who you would like to see be Gotham's hope of at least ending this gang war. And Jason was quick to reply. He said, as far as who I'd like to see become Gotham's hope, I think the comics provide the perfect solution in Alan Scott, aka the Golden Age Green Lantern. I don't want him to actually be Green Lantern, that's all wrong for Gotham, but rather simply the owner of the Gotham Broadcasting Company. His character can be almost a golden boy for Gotham, whose company provides him the power and wealth to work toward a brighter Gotham, sort of the Dark Knight Harvey Dent meets Lex Luthor. Alright, back into the episode. So we see that this drug, Viper, ends up being the precursor to Venom. Just what I thought. I think that's great. I'm really glad that they did that. But it turns out that Wayne Enterprises may have had something to do with Viper, and Bruce doesn't seem too happy with that. We do see a great little scene where Alfred and Bruce go to a Wayne Foundation type of soiree, which is very typical for the Batman comics. So good on you, writers, for putting those in early. Bruce Wayne, he wants to talk to the board of directors of his parents' company. none of which are there. Just some woman, Mathis, who we'll see what her involvement is. She does seem to be a player of sorts at the end of the episode when Gordon and Bullock take down the guy who's distributing Viper. She's watching them, and they've apparently already cleared out his warehouse where he was keeping all of his paraphernalia. She's a player, and it makes, like I said, it makes me a little worried to see where they're going with the storyline with the Waynes. Are they bad guys? I don't know. How is Bruce gonna take that if his parents were in on the crime syndicate? It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting development of the show to see where they take all of that. Let's start predicting how we think the season is gonna end. I know we still have a lot of episodes to get to. I'm assuming this is gonna be a full season commitment, so that means about 22 episodes. I'm not sure. I'll have to look further into that, but I think this will be like a full 21, 22 episode season. So where do you think it's gonna go? How do you think it's gonna end? Is it going to be all-out gang war? Is this going to be when we see at least one of the crime bosses go down? Fish, Falcone, Maroney. I'm voting for Fish. I mean, I know that Jada Pinkett Smith probably has a very large contract with the show, but I'm really hoping she goes down early. Not because I don't like her character or her as an actress. I'm not into the character, and I'd really like to see them focus on the other characters that I'm more into. Riddler, Penguin, Gordon, just in general, Bruce Wayne. I want to see more Bruce Wayne. That kid is Batman. Once again, Gothamites, I gotta end the show, but let me know what you thought of the episode. Let me know what you thought of any of what I said. If you thought anything I said was bullshit, or if you agreed, let me know in the comments below. I can't wait to see what the next episode entails. It is going to be a Halloween episode. It does look like we're going to see a primitive bat cowl, not worn by Bruce Wayne, but by some new villain, some newcomer to Gotham. So stay tuned. I'm really excited to review that episode and all future episodes. I'm excited to see what you guys thought. Again, comment down below, share the video, subscribe. Let's keep doing this, guys. I can't wait. Until next time, I'm Eli Wilbur, and this has been the Villains of YouTube.
I am the spirit of the goat. This body may fail, but I will not.
Something changed them.
I will always come back. I will always come back.
Let's catch him quick. What you have is a conspiracy. You do not have a lone killer here.
It's so dangerous.
I'm afraid we're never gonna stop this.